Orlo's just standing there next to Emmerin and is just watching what happened, but is like digging around in his ear with one of his his pinky finger because it's still ringing from the gunshot. And he just like looks over at Emmerin and he's like, "What was that all about?"
It's like, Orlo, buddy, you gotta keep it down a little bit.
For those of you watching on YouTube, you missed it in the cut, but I did a super hilarious bit. It was so fun. Everybody in chat loved it. I got a lot of those fucked up little frog guys. It was great.
Welcome back, everybody, from our super intense combat where our party members almost died.
I took 2 whole damage, so...
Yeah, I think there might be some stitching off on my bear.
So as you guys kind of finish up, you drag this bandit back over to the middle of the road, back towards the carriage, and you kind of wake him up out of his unconscious state from his massive head trauma. What would you like to do?
I think I'm gonna be like actively letting Roland take the lead because I want to kind of learn how to do this from him because I've never had to like hold someone for questioning really. I mean, just with the ladies, but you guys took the lead on the ladies, so.
Lia, actually, could you come over here and give me a hand just for a moment?
Absolutely.
All right. If you could do me an enormous favor and draw your rapier, put it to this man's throat.
Gladly. And I'll just very sweetly put it right under his chin.
So Roland is going to draw his longsword and like take the dude's hand and put it on the handle of the longsword. And he's like, Roland's like knelt down like eye level with this guy. And he's going to say, okay, here's how this is going to work. I'm going to ask you some questions. If you lie, my sword will tell me that you are lying. And if you do lie, my friend Lia here is going to slit your throat. Now, before we begin, I want you to know that I have sworn a solemn oath against telling fibs. So know that everything I'm telling you is 100% accurate. So, to begin with, what is your name? Here we go. Fucking got his ass.
So, as he kind of like comes to, he sees you and he sees the rapier in his throat. Name's Marcus.
Okay, Marcus. So, how many more of you are there? And Roland is going to use one of the properties of Truth Seeker, his sword. And I'm going to expend one of the charges. And when the sword is held and a question is asked, it will glow brightly if the answer is truth, or dull if the answer is a lie. Excuse me.
Cool.
So he kind of looks at you and he looks around a little bit and he tries to see where the people that he was with are.
You're the last one.
Don't worry, we took care of your friends.
Then that's all of us. And the sword glows brightly.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
Rolly, could you just end the poor fucker and let's get on our way? We got more important things to do than be questioning a mook.
We could kill him, but then all people.
All right, great.
All people would know would be the remnants of the battlefield here. But what's going to happen is we're going to let Marcus here go, and Marcus is going to tell everybody he knows that these roads are no longer ripe for plundering, that it is not safe to be abandoned in these parts anymore. Isn't that right, Marcus?
Whatever you say, sir.
So Roland is going to stand up and like grab Marcus by the collar and yank him to his feet.
I'll
And as
remove
you
my.
do, Elias stabs him directly.
No,
in
no,
the
no.
Stabs him directly in the every time.
I remove my rapier, and I'll toss him a silver.
At his face, like the peasants, or
I'm gonna throw it at his feet and then spit on the ground.
Don't spit it all in one place, you jamoke.
I'm going to just like flip it over to him.
okay. It kind of like hits him in the chest and falls to the ground, and he like looks at you and looks at Roland and then looks at the coin.
Roland's gonna look down at the coin and look at him and say, "Take it and run."
Yes, sir. And he leans down and very like quickly like picks it up and just bolts off into the woods where they came out of.
And as that happens, Orlo's just standing there next to Emmerin and is just watching what happened, but is like digging around in his ear with one of his pinky finger because it's still ringing from the gunshot. And he just like looks over at Emmerin and he's like, "What was that all about?"
He's like, Orlo, buddy, you gotta keep it down a little bit. He's like,
I keep it down all the time, Nino.
What does that even mean?
he can't hit us in so much as language. Yeah. So make a lot of pleasant faces and, thumbs up and what have you. And then you can say to Orlo, whatever the fuck it is you want. And he's going to look Orlo right in the face and go, Orlo, you're a right cunt, buddy.
You are a truly perplexing creature.
And Orlo is just like at this point has dropped Bonebreaker and is just like
Mop. Mop.
And then I'll walk over and give a treat to Steve.
He gladly accepts it.
Or actually, I'm not even going to use a treat. I'm going to let him have his pick of what's left of these bodies. That's all his.
Oh, that's grisly.
Here's your treat, buddy.
You kind of just like let him have free reign, and do you unhook him from the carriage or no?
Yeah, I'll unhook him from the carriage.
You see him just absolutely tear into a couple of these bodies. Like, you thought it was bad before, and it's much, much worse now. There's pieces and intestines and blood just kind of strewn across the rest of the battlefield, even more so than there was before.
Are there any like markings on the bandits that would identify them as being part of any particular gang or crew?
They do have like it seems like all have similar markings on them. It's just like a I'll draw it out and send it to you, but it's basically a C and then a line that comes straight down from it, and then two more on either side of the base of that.
Roland's gonna cut that symbol, like cut the cloth out of one of the bandits. I don't know why I want to keep saying jerkin, but I'm gonna say jerkin.
You're gonna jerk the bandit. Got it.
Yeah. It's not that kind of stream, man. Yeah, Roland's gonna pocket the patch.
Would any of us from the area recognize what that symbol would represent? Or is that outside the DM's plan?
Like, be familiar with all of the bandits around here.
What is my home?
You know that it's not uncommon for groups of them to wear the same symbols so they can identify themselves easily. This one in particular, go ahead and give me a history check for it.
History. Oh, 18.
This one in particular does not look familiar. It's not something you would have seen before. You know that you've been gone for a little while, but it hasn't been that long. But it's not uncommon for just, especially with how handily you guys took care of them, that a group of people like this would just pop up and just try to be pillaging the road. And you would definitely know that they also don't last very long. So this is not a surprise ending for these people.
So see Roland pocketing the symbol, unless you're doing it.
No, I'm not
sneakily.
trying to
Yeah,
hide
okay.
it at all.
Really, I don't think there's any point in keeping that. This was just a bunch of jamokes who thought they could take advantage of the situation that we find ourselves in.
Well, my plan was to show it to the innkeeper or priest at the next town over and let them know that they didn't have to worry about this anymore.
That's smart. Trying to get a reward. Yeah, it's smart man.
Well, I suppose if you wanted to claim a reward.
Hey, we did the work. It's honest work, isn't it?
That it is. Oh, speaking of, and Roland's going to go into his coin purse on his belt and toss a gold piece to Emmerin.
He snatches it out of the air. Like, right.
It was a hell of a shot.
That's the only kind I make.
I'm assuming not, but is there any kind of loot that we can get off of these guys, or are they just pretty?
I mean, there's a lot of like I said, weapons that they're using, armor, stuff like that. But none of it's particularly outstanding from what you saw. There's between the group of them, you could just come up with like 38 gold, roughly, just from what you pull out of their pockets, basically. But beyond that, nothing really of anything of note.
I will add 38 gold to my pile just to keep track of it. Just so you all know I have it.
The most trustworthy of our number.
When have I ever given you a reason not to trust me?
He just wants to buy some more fancy pillows.
I'll buy you one too, Rolly. I mean, come on, I bought you 6 lamps, didn't I?
You did buy me 6 lamps. And they came in handy.
Didn't they?
Anyway, shall we?
Did someone say something about somebody named Andy?
No.
Orlo, we are going to go up the road now. So you get in the cart.
Orlo, why don't you ride inside the cart?
Emmerin will make like flappy ears on top of his head. You go in the cart.
It seems rude to point out his ears like.
It's not ears he's sensitive about, it's the nose.
Oh, I could see that.
Can I also go over and see if I can tell what's at like the base of this pit that opened up in front of us?
Yeah, for sure. Go ahead and it's not even gonna make you roll for it. It's literally just a big hole in the ground. It's only about 4 feet deep, but it's enough to drop a cart into as it would go over it and stop it from going forward. Really?
Okay, legit.
That's fair. Okay.
Orlo wants to look around for plants. He's looking for any cotton-like plant.
To make himself earplugs for the rifle.
Go ahead and give me a nature check, bud.
I mean, it ain't not smart.
We could use one of Emmerin's new pillows.
No!
3.
You touch one of those pillows and you end up like the bandits.
The best you would be able to come up with is just like some fluff from like the birds have put into nests and things like that. Some leaves, like nothing that would really do anything meaningful.
Like disappointingly, like throw it on the ground and just start walking.
So is there anything else you guys want to do before you start traveling?
One last thing, Roland is going to gather the bodies as he can and toss them in the pit, and then see if he can get Orlo to pour oil on them, so we can, have a sort of impromptu pyre, so they're not just corpses in nature.
You can definitely gather most of them. A few of them are going to be a little more difficult now that Steve's been leashed on them. But to the best of your ability, I would say you get 90% of them in there, and they're good to go.
And I cannot get another jug of oil until the next dawn.
No.
But you guys can make it work. You guys have plenty of stuff, plenty of lamps.
No, those were the gifts.
Roland's going to use up one of the lamps to burn the pile. I'll buy us another lamp.
Emmerin gets a little huffy.
No. You bought them as a prank. You bought them to be mean.
I did not. I bought them for you specifically, Rolly.
You'll charade. We need to.
And mean? How is a gift mean?
Mean. You did it in a sort of bullying manner, not to me, but to that poor boy at the.
But I'm simply supporting the boy. Come on, and they're well crafted.
They're nice.
I bought Laya one too.
We have to go. we cannot tarry here any longer. We must go.
Yeah. Now that we want to talk about the lamps, we gotta go, but we gotta make sure they're all taken care of and questioned and all that shit. When I wanted to leave, it was no, we gotta respect them.
Once Steve is done eating his fill, I'll use Mage Hand to kind of try to wipe some of the blood off of his face.
You see him like snapping at it. Like he can't see it because it's invisible, but he can feel it. So as it like touches his face, he's like
swatting and flies kind of thing.
Yeah.
And then I'll try to get him back over and hook back up to the cart.
He actually has no problems with this with you, right?
Is it because I gave him a bunch of human bodies?
Who's to say? So you guys have another 3 days. 2 days of travel from where you are to where the next closest city is. Is there anything you guys want to do along the way while you're going there?
I mean, when we're making stops and stuff, I'm gonna keep working with Buttonhead on his fencing.
And I'm also helping with that.
Okay.
Once the ringing goes away, Orlo's going to walk over to Alaya and be like, listen, next time you decide you want to fire that thing off, a little warning, maybe a safe word of some sort would really be nice.
How about okay?
Well, that's too simple of a safe word. What would you like to say?
That's why it didn't work last time.
How about quadrilateral?
Orlo, what would you like the safe word to be?
You can't use that type of language in front of a lady.
Mathematics,
when
the
when
devils.
He says that, I'm gonna look at him like, what the fuck? Orlo, what would you like the safe word to be? Or I could just tell you to cover your ears. Either way.
I mean, yeah, a simple fire or
earmuffs.
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 Sure.
Yeah, well, we can even make you some. You can't use my pillows, but
couldn't or can't.
Can't.
Shouldn't. Got it.
His eyes flash yellow just very briefly.
Let the man have his pillows.
He
I
has
don't get a
plenty
lot of
them.
confidence in life. I've spent my entire life in dirt and holes and
Arrogance.
hovels and whatever. It's nice to have something nice for once. I'm just saying. I kind of get why people step on throats to become rich, you know? I'm just saying.
I'm happy the pillows make you happy.
It's the small things in life, Rolly.
All right. Well, let's get going.
I don't
And
know why the last couple episodes, Emmerin has just been a fucking comic relief for me. Just
Emmerin's
need an outlet.
been going through it, you know. He's really been looking deeply at like his life and like where he comes from. And these pillows are
going
like
on?
finally, it's okay if I love myself a little.
It's okay to love myself as much as I love these pillows.
That's right.
Just remember,
Why
self-care
should
is
never
important.
get some pillows for once?
So I know you guys didn't intend on stopping anywhere, but you guys are passing directly by a town. And
What is the town, Sir Dominic?
so the one that you're about to pass is Prey. Preigh.
What do we know about said town?
A lot of eating and loving
Give me a
goes
history
on.
check there, Emmerin.
History
with advantage.
with advantage. 11.
Okay.
Sad.
You don't know a ton about this place, but you do know what it is. This town in particular is very well known throughout this surrounding area. It is run by a group of individuals, and the group is called the Guild of Dutiful Scales. And this town is notorious. There is a specific number of people in it, and that number never fluctuates. If somebody is born, somebody leaves. If somebody dies, they bring someone else in, or somebody is born. There is never a fluctuation in that number for a very long period of time. Ever.
All right. So as we're traveling, so the non-Verangelo folks, we're coming up on a town that's a little bit of an oddball. If you look on your left, it's a town called Prey. It's a very odd place where it's all the population is always the exact same number. If someone's born, someone takes off. If someone dies, they haul someone in. It's this group called the Guild of Dutiful Scales. It's an odd place. I don't recommend necessarily that we stop, but if we need any supplies, it's the next town up.
Well, I would like to let them know that the gang of bandits is not operating in the area anymore.
Well, it's possible we might have just reduced the town's population by about 25 or so. So we might get hauled in if we're not careful. I'm just saying.
I think we'll be just fine.
Emmerin takes his sword out and starts sharpening it. He's like, oh, we're gonna have to murder people again. All right.
It's not a murder. Different.
It's not murder if it's self-defense.
It's not murder if it's self-defense. That's right. Disembodied voice of whom I feel that great amount of power over my life.
So you guys, you come.
That's right, Max.
That's right, Max. Oh yes, absolutely. So the town from the outside, large stone walls. It's kind of built into a natural like valley in the hills. The right of it's for your side. The left of it's kind of like a big mountain scaled wall, and to the left of it is right of it, whatever. To the other side of it is a river that's running down.
Directions are hard, man.
Yeah, and Emmerin, this river runs into Townwind Lake, which is the one that Gilberg and Braccar Kord both sit on. Much further up, but it feeds into it.
And this lake is massive, right?
It's very large, yes.
Incredibly large?
Incredibly large.
Thank you.
But you know that it, like I said, it feeds into that, and it kind of forms a natural barrier to its opposite side that kind of keeps it defensive. Prey sits large stone walls and very large gate house that is manned by a few guards that are standing outside of it, watching you guys as you approach.
Quick question. It was 3 days of travel to get to Prey, or on the way? Like Prey is between where we're going. That's 3 days travel.
So you are sorry. It was 2. I correct myself, but you are 2 days past where you had started from. So that it's now the 15th, I believe. Of
I had that we were on the 11th.
Then it's I have the 14th is when you guys started. So the day was the 14th.
Yeah.
So today would be the 16th of Firewane. You guys, once you get about 150 yards from them, you kind of hear them call out, "Friend or foe?"
Oh, friends.
That depends sometimes.
That's
I'll
not.
like elbow Emmerin.
Why? It's a complicated question.
You cannot confront a sentry with social subtlety. They'll just shoot at you.
And Orlo just shouts, "A friend, a foe to you too!"
Oh, no.
And you see the guard kind of
Orlo has
holding
to have
a
a moment.
spear, and he like kind of looks at the other guard next to him, and looks back, and he goes, "You may approach."
It's possible there might be something wrong with us. Just not physically. It's just the whole thing.
No roaches here.
What are you talking about?
He asked if we had a roach.
No, he said we may approach. Are you okay? Oh,
Orlo, have you gone deaf?
A little bit.
It's
Okay.
been 2 days.
It's getting better.
Tinnitus is no joke. It's really bad for you.
Boy.
Emmerin, language. And Roland's going to approach the sentries.
As you guys get up closer, the guard looks at you. I assume you're still riding in front a little bit.
Yeah.
Roland, yeah. He kind of halts you, and as the carriage kind of rolls up behind you, he goes, "What business do you have?"
We represent the broader interests of the great mercenary Emmerin Fall. We are something of a retinue of his.